Hey, good afternoon. So really what I want to do is start creating basically a video journal for everything I'm doing here. I've always had a passion for gaming as well as the desire to really make something from the ground up. And this is what you're seeing here. It's my accountability journal to make sure I'm doing it. But more importantly, I want to track my progress and just kind of highlight interesting things that I learned throughout the journey. There's always something through my training where I was doing Udemy courses or similar that I was like, wow, that's a weird concept. I want to get it down somewhere. And so what I want to do is highlight the tools that I'm using, the progress that I'm making, and then of course solicit feedback. I'd love to make this to be more of a dynamic community. I don't know if if this is going to surface to anyone, but what I'm doing here today, this is Godot. I want to start creating a game very similar to Archomage, something that was in Might and Magic 6 and 7. I think the MVP is going to be just recreating that game because I loved it. I thought it was really interesting. The different taverns having different difficulties or rule sets, I think is really interesting. Once I've gotten that down and it works, I want to really expand that. I want to make it more of a universe. I want it to be a deck builder, have the ability to like sub cards in and out, maybe create the concept of packs, and just extend that game. So what you're seeing is this first pass. We have the game board created. We have some generic resource placeholders, something that I need to come up and update. We have the sample card and all of the related imagery here. I'm going to need to go and update that though. And then these are the resource tiles that you can instantiate as well. Basically, none of the wiring's done. There's a lot to be done here, but I think it's a great way to keep track of it. So what do I want to do next? I think the goal for the next session is going to be finalizing the game board. I want it to represent both players, all of the resources, the tower, the wall, have your hand, at least your hand area, finalize a sample card, and then start doing some of the wiring. There's a lot of tracking that has to be done, a lot of label updates and scripts and like game managers that need to be written. There's a lot to learn too. I've never programmed a game before. I've done a couple of courses, most of which I don't actually finish once I've lost track or get bounced or whatever. But it gave me a good fundamental. My background is not programming related at all, which is partially why I want to do this project. There's some Python in my background. There's some Unity, some Unreal Engine, but never a finished project on any of those that I've ran myself. I've done some courses. So I think this is going to be an interesting way to kind of go about that. One thing of note, this also combines my passion for just generative AI and things similar. Yes, I'm going to use a lot of content packs. These are either going to be paid for or free resources from things like Itch. But also I want to leverage Gen AI as much as possible because I think it's super, super interesting. And I think by combining game development with Gen AI and education, this could be a really robust way to like build all of that together for something that might be useful. So as I run into problems, as I build cool things, as I'm testing, I really want to share that journey. So continue to check in. I'd love to get feedback or input or thoughts as I go through the process. If you are a game developer or an aspiring game developer, I definitely want to hear from you as well because I think that's something we could all do together that could be really interesting. And that's a wrap for day one. So I'm going to try to do these as often as I do these updates. That's not going to be every day. I do have a day job. This is just something I'm doing at night for fun, but looking forward to it. Take care.